When my roommate comes into the room looking for his car keys, I don't say it yet. And when he gets me off the couch to check underneath the couch cushions, I don't say it yet. No. And then when he says out loud, I wonder where my car keys are, I still don't say it. Yet. But then he asks me, do you know where my car keys are? I look at him in his face and I say, have you checked your vitals? I have not seen your keys, but since you're asking me, you better check out that vital. Of course I'm not serious, I don't think it's always on your big brown business. But a funny thing to say to someone who's lost their shit and is stressed out visibly. When I see the best man start to sweat, I don't say it yet. When I see that little ring bearer cunt getting yelled at by his mum, oh, I still don't say it. When I see the groom asking the vicar if they can wait just another 15 minutes, I do not say it. And when the father of the bride starts organising an ad hoc emu bob of the courtyard area, I want to, but I do not say it. It's the 11th hour with 300 congregants under God's roof. The vicar approaches the mic and suddenly all of the chatter goes mute. He says that they've misplaced the rings. Could anyone possibly know where they are? I know it's my time, and all heads turn as I stand and say, Vicar, have you checked your vitals? Yeah, I have not seen your ring, but have you checked your ring? My ring on me, but your love is
Hey Camden County, this is Brad Cole, the new owner of New Wave Batting Cages, previously known as the Camden Cages, across the street from Howard Peoples Park and right next to the fire department. If you see us cleaning up and renovating, shoot us a honk. Let us know that you care.
Hi, my name is Savannah, and I am better known as Trash Panda for LYFE, yo, on OnlyFans.com, where I sell pictures of my asshole. But I still wouldn't let Mick Motherwell fuck me. Welcome to Mick Motherwell's Self-Awareless. Titties.
Yo. Well, welcome to Self-Awareless with Mick Motherwell. MickMotherwell.com, Facebook.com/Mick Motherwell Comedy. Check all that good stuff out like you should, and like you should have been already. Do I have a very special guest tonight? You're damn white, I do. You're damn white. I've got somebody that I think is a lot like me in the most opposite way you could be a lot like me, if that makes any sense. I think we agree on a lot of stuff, but we're completely different people. And it's fun to see that. I like him. I respect him. That's the biggest part. And he's polarizing. Look, you love me or you hate me. And I know half of you listening, watching, tuning in at home fucking hate me. And you love to do it. And you love watching me anyway. Just kind of like a lot of these guys. A lot of people like watching this guy. Anyway, before we go any further, I got to plug New Wave Batting Cages and the Camden County Community Market. You better check that stuff out down by Howard Peoples Park. And then, of course, Trash Panda for life. Hopefully she's killing it. She'll be doing a regular part on the show coming soon. Anyway, I think people have been waiting on this, man. Peter Anderson, how are we, sir?
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? It's great to see you, dude.
Thanks for having me on the show, man. Thanks for having
Brother,
me.
I've been waiting to have you on for a minute.
I know.
A minute sounds...
I had you
slang as that.
I had you waiting. I know. I had you waiting.
Hey, if you're important, people wait. I mean, that's my philosophy, but apparently you've switched it all on me. Man, let's just talk quickly and let me rapid fire you with some crazy questions right off the bat.
Right.
All right.
Shoot.
How old are you?
I am 33 years old.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food that I can't really eat right now is macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese. So you're trying to lose a little weight?
Well, my doctor has me on the keto diet, so I gotta stay with the starches. But I could tear cheese up, but just not the starches. So I can't do macaroni and cheese. I can just do the cheese part. So
no pasta, man. And we can't do the cauliflower stuff. I cannot do the cauliflower stuff. Man. Second of all, or I guess third of all, my point is, you have a pet?
No, I don't have any pets.
No pets. Damn. I was trying to make some common ground here, but what I'm saying is, you're a regular fucking human being.
Correct. That is correct.
And the crazy people just get on. Do you get? I don't, before we get any further, like just between me and you here, like, do you get like hate mail? Do you get little DMs, little fucking like? Excuse my French, but I'm like, a little bit.
I did. I mean, when I first started out, I got a lot. I mean, for a good year, or maybe 2 years, because I've been doing this since 2018. And for 2 years straight, I got nothing but hate mail in my inbox. Like, I'll have some people that I know that know me, they're not gonna hate mail me, they know me.
Yeah.
Then you go to that little other box on social media and then see all the people that you don't know that's trying to get approved to say something to you. And then they're like, but then you'll get those 1 or 2 people that'll say, oh yeah, I appreciate what you do. Hey, how about say this? Share this. And I got people that want me to share things because they may be afraid of sharing something. So I have them, so they'll send it to me, and then I'll share it. Yeah, and I'll share it. So some of the stuff that I share is not even from me; is other people that want to voice that opinion, and they just want to use me as a channel to do that.
I'm going to get back to that, but this is a comedy podcast. It gets a little serious sometimes, but I'm going to get back to that. Somebody sent me the song that I played, Have You Checked Your Butthole? Sent me that with confidence, like, hey, man, will you post this? I already did it. It was my status 2 weeks ago, bro. Like, back the fuck up. I got you. Completely different, but completely the same. That's all I'm saying, Peter. What I am, back to it, man. You're a regular human, I think. And what happens all the time is we just get all this, just for having an opinion. And I think sometimes, well, actually, before we get into put the pin in the social media thing, because I want to get to that. Tell me about you and tell me why you think I got you on this shit right now, and what you're doing. Be Peter Anderson for a minute. Show your face.
I mean, what got your attention? What got your attention from what I've been posting is just, me saying people think that I hate white people and think that, I'm just some evil doom and gloom guy and just want to say all white people are bad and everybody else is good and everybody else don't have any problems, And so I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. You see, the problem is, I think what got me on the show is that people don't like to read.
100%. That's why I started this thing, man. My profile picture is an animated picture of me that actually my wife drew. It was cool. Okay. It was like Superman. And you know how many people that, like, I'll make a comment and they're just like, oh, you got a fake ass profile picture, you piece of shit. Like, you're hiding behind it. I'm like, dude, I have a fucking, like, I'm on live.
Podcast, three
times a week, man. Like, 3 times a week, you can hear my opinion. You can comment. You can call me right now. Like,
right.
But that's it. I mean, that's what I experience, and that's not even going further than making a point. It's just that's what they see, and it's just ridiculous that just how that shit goes. So back to it. You're on the show. I've always wanted you, man. But I'm glad you're here. I think let me try. And Peter is, in my opinion, and what I see, definitely an activist on social media. In my opinion, and where I live, because of where I live, I can say activist. I can say we're kind of surrounded with a lot of, I don't want to say, a lot of small minds down in this part of the country.
Yes.
Sometimes, not all the time. And so you end up just being a polarizing figure because you got a difference. You're a minority. And we're not talking about color of skin or anything like that yet. And I think, sometimes it comes across. Not even comes across. Just some people just think it's too much. You should go to New York with that shit. You should go to California with that shit. Whereas, like, hold on, man. And I'll say no more than Ahmaud Arbery right up the fucking road. I'll talk about Tony Green, but it's here and it's happening.
Right. Exactly.
Do you think that that's people ignoring it? Like, I'm not going to open this bill and then I won't have to pay it? Or do you think it's more people like really strongly just like,
and you said it.
Fuck those black folk anyway. Fuck those criminals and whatever they fucking call it.
I think it's a mixture of whoever you talking to. I mean, you said it. Like they like, if I ignore the bill, I just walk out and don't pay it. But the bill is still there on the table. Like I was
come to collect it sooner or later, I promise.
I was talking to somebody today. They were like, if you just ignore racism, it will go away. I said, what? That's not even logical sound.
Someone said that to you.
Yeah, multiple people say this all the time. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing that you can ever say. It's like, it's not even logical. It's not even, I mean, there was a war on science this year and last year, but I mean, but as far as the logic goes, I mean, if you have I told somebody today, if you have a smoke detector that is beeping because it has low battery life,
that's good.
Just because you ignore the smoke detector doesn't mean the battery is automatically going to just fix itself and change. Somebody has to say, hey, baby, go change that smoke detector. And
let's try this, Peter. Let's try this, man. I like your analogy. I like where you're going, right? But sometimes when it's beeping because it's almost dead.
Right.
Now, hand to God, I think there's some people I know around here, and there's some people in this country around here that are the beep. And I'm pointing at you, man. It's different than it being dead.
Right.
And so if that battery's dead, it's not going to save you during a fire. Sometimes when that thing's beeping and it's got a little energy in it, it is going to save you. And I don't know. That's where I'm at. And I know that I think you're not there yet, and that's fine because it's just. I'm not saying just me. I'm saying it's a sprinkle, man. It's tiny. It's a tiny fucking part in the, and it's not good enough. So all right, let me play ignorant. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a question that you'll get on a Facebook comment thread, right? Mm-hmm. You'll post a status. Who's your enemy, Peter? Who's your enemy?
Who's my enemy? My enemy.
Why are you picking on white people? Who's your enemy?
My enemy is racism. So if and the real definition of racism, not the whitewashed version of racism, the version of that makes white people feel included in the hate and included in the oppression. Because that's what whitewashed versions do. When something is whitewashed, like our history has been, it erases as much as the white guilt as it possibly can. That's what I mean. Yeah. So when it comes to the new definition of racism, they want to say, hey, everybody can be racist against white people too. So that is because then you got to go back. Let's go back in time. A decade, 15 years ago, when we were in school, mm-hmm. It used to be a term called anti-racism. I mean, there used to be a term as reverse racism. I'm sorry, reverse racism.
Reverse racism,
right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That implies that racism only goes one direction, and when it goes the other way,
you and I are supposed to be conditioned to think that every time,
right? But now they was like, let's do away with this term. They don't use it no more. Reverse racism. Let's do away with it, and let's make everybody racist too.
Kill motherfucker.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Let's go back historically what this stuff means, and then we know that we know the truth.
I dig it, man. I dig it.
Before it was whitewashed. Let's go before it was whitewashed.
So now hear me out. I mean, I'll come through that computer screen and beat the shit out of you, motherfucker, if I need to. But hear me out. Do you think whitewashed could come across as racist, or hear me out, reverse racist? Like you say a whitewashed term. Now I agree. I know exactly what you're saying, bro. Right. Like, don't get me wrong. But how do you present that to someone that's kind of ignorant as fuck?
Well, how you present it is that even when they were using the word reverse racism, there's no such thing as reverse racism.
Well, that's exactly
how you do reverse oppression. Like you are oppressed. It's like the slave master. The slave master. I'm going to reverse slave you now, as during slavery.
Oh no! I think that would be more like
you are.
It'd be more like the slave saying, "Hey man, can you pick that up for me?"
Right.
That's reverse slaveism, you motherfucker.
Right. Exactly.
What the fuck was that about?
Right.
I'll tell you. So, I mean, we're going to go all over the place. We have got the same message, and I think that's what I called the show, is like Methods, Missions, and Madness, or something stupid. But it's called Madness. What do you? I heard, and I've talked about it on the show. Somebody wanted Robert E. Lee High School in Jacksonville, right? I'm all about it. We can get into that part soon. Statues and bullshit. They're changing the name, and this fucking chick shows up, and you want to talk about reverse racism, man? This chick shows up, waits in line, and gets to the mic and goes, and I can't quote it, but she says something like, "Well, Robert E. Lee and the Civil War wouldn't happen. Robert E. Lee was a great man, but the Civil War wouldn't happen unless blacks sold blacks just like, to each other." And it's like, oh, that's why we shouldn't change the name of the fucking high school.
But let's go there though. Let's go with that logic.
That's kind of where I'm trying to go. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go to that logic. What people don't realize that yes, black people did sell other black people to slavery, right? But also there were a lot that were kidnapped too. They were swindled, 100%. But let's go with that. Let's say if 100% of the slave
animals, and I hate to fucking call it that, but the animals are getting extinct, like exotic animals, because there's poachers, because there's ways to do it legally, and there's ways to fucking. And I do not want to compare black people to animals, but I understand slave trade was slave trade.
But let's go. Let's even go with that logic.
Right,
that 100%, like say if 100% of the people were sold by other black people, instead of going like this, since white people got the slaves that were sold to them, instead of saying, "Hey, I just bought your freedom, I'm about to go try to build a country. Do you want to come with me, or you can just go free?"
Brother.
Instead of that, they raised the ante of slavery and made it cattle slavery, where your children's children become slaves. Like, let's not stop the evil. Don't say, "Oh, because they sold us, you didn't do anything evil."
But so Peter, this is like a 70-year-old lady. Like, that's her logic.
Right. Exactly. So
we can talk about that. Seriously, I'll have you on every week for like hours. We can talk about this. I guess the roundabout question here is, how do you combat that kind of behavior? And if you give me 30 seconds, I'll give you as long as you want. But the kind of behavior that that attitude. So one, blacks sold blacks to blacks, or blacks sold. First of all, fuck off with the language lingo. But
right.
The second is like things like, well, he shouldn't have been doing nothing wrong, and he wouldn't have got shot.
Right.
That fucking. That's like a prostate exam to me to hear. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not pleasurable for me to hear anything like that from anybody. I'm like, are you fucking
right?
And all I want to do is punch somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know you got something to say, so I want to wrap it up. But
go ahead.
And then third, like, just go ahead with those two, and then we'll get into the rest. So, like, how do you handle that as doing what you're doing, getting that kind of, well, blacks sold blacks, and that's fucked up. To say it. And then two, like, well, he shouldn't have been doing anything wrong. He wouldn't have got shot.
Well, first of all, let's just go let me just say one thing about saying blacks on blacks. Automatically, that makes you look racist by saying blacks on blacks in a negative tone.
It's the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Period.
I'm saying that as an example because I can't say any fucking else as an example, and that's bullshit. I'm sorry, Peter. Please go.
But
I told you to shut me up, man.
This is the attempt, though. This is the attempt to whitewash your thoughts, whitewash your emotions, whitewash is like I said, when I say whitewash, a lot of people don't they say, well, they only hear that term with history, but no, you can whitewash a lot of things. Like whitewashing is just to take away as much white guilt as possible. So instead of taking that guilt and saying, hey, I feel guilt, let me put it in a positive way and create change, they want to take that guilt, they want to wash away that guilt and say, hey, it was black people's fault why we made black people slaves and we lynched and murdered and mobbed and killed and raped and did all that.
I compare that analogy, Peter. This is how serious I compare this analogy. I compare it to like the 9/11 attacks. I know this sounds crazy. I know that I'm a comedian, but like 9/11, if it was real, like a real attack, that was genius, right? Genius.
Right.
In a weird way, being like blacks and using these like just again, and I'll agree with 100% what you're saying right now. That's whitewashing of terms. It's almost genius. Now, 9/11 was not good.
Right.
It was not good, but it was a genius plan. It's a genius plan. Hitler was not good, but it was genius. Who the fuck comes up with that? And I mean, you know what I mean? Who comes up with it? And then who joins that fucking revolution of being like, oh, we'll just call this something different.
Right. Because what happens is that's why I talk about there's three things. There's people that are actively racist, passively racist, or anti-racist. And the way the definition of racism is, white people are only in one of these three categories. You either actively racist, trying to change the narrative, trying to put your hands and whitewash the narrative and try to clean up so you can feel the less guilt, and you try to make your white ancestors that's going to come after you to feel as less guilt as possible. All of that. And then you could either be passively racist, where somebody is, while they washing, you're not saying, wait a minute, why are you washing that away? That's not the truth. Stop doing that. Or passively will be me not saying nothing. Oh, they washing, I'm seeing them washing. Hey, it's taking away my guilt because I'm white. It's taking away my guilt.
Yeah, keep washing. I'm not as long as you're washing, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, I don't have to wash if you wash it. So I'm going to benefit from that erase of white guilt. Or you could be anti-racist, where you're not racist anymore because now you're anti-racism. You can't be anti-racist and be racist at the same time. Once you become anti-racist, you're saying I'm kicking against my own nature by stopping you from washing that, saying, hey, you need to stop that racist behavior. You need to stop it. That's not acceptable. And that's where I want white people to be, anti-racist.
Let me give you a fourth category, and I think you might agree here. Okay, so your third category is anti-racist. I think the fourth category is actively anti-racist.
Right.
Because I think you crossed into it, man. Not. Well, obviously, I am now, but I think you were like, oh well, what's up with this? What's up with that? That's one thing. And this is one of my points. I think we briefly touched on it pre-show, and I did want to ask you about it. But it's like I've got to be honest, man. I've ran into some people at my last job, and thankfully not in my new one, that's just been, I mean, the first couple things they said to me, the N-word was in the sentence. But I mean, and I was just like, are you fucking joking?
Right.
I mean, they get away with it, or they think they get away with it because I'm white. And this is me bragging and fucking being so cool, but it's let me get rid of that. There's anti-racists, and I'm not hating on anyone. I know it's getting tough, and I want to ask you about how it's tough to do. It's real tough for me to go and be like, hey man, that guy called me N-word because I did certain things for the company, and that guy said that this. Are you fuck? And that's anti-racist,
right?
Now, and maybe what we want is only three categories. Right. But the fourth is me going to my minority boss, like the owner of the company who is a minority.
Right.
I was just like, hey, man, I feel pretty fucking uncomfortable that was said to me on the first interaction with these two people.
Right.
I says, that means that they don't respect me and they don't respect anybody else.
Well, Let me address that.
Part of their fucking job. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm at. Yeah, go ahead, man. Please.
And this is where passive racist comes in, because what happens is that's why we need white people. White people are the key to ending racism. Black people can help, they can scream, they can march in the street, but white people have the key, because what happens is when white people are around other white people and there's no minorities around, what do they say? So if you check racism when there's no minorities around, then you are actively anti-racist. You see what I'm saying? And then you say, hey, when you're around, the racist people gotta tuck themselves in and not show racism and not perpetuate racism. So
I have a stand-up bit, Peter, that's all on that premise, because it's the closest I can compare it to anyone that's ever had a prostate exam is that, like, I can't fucking stand, like, you're the only black guy in the club, right? Or there's only one black. Here's actually the worst thing I ever hear from another white guy that's just a racist piece of shit, and I'll say it is, I got loud. She's pretty hot. I'd fuck her for a black chick.
Oh gosh.
Are you fucking? First of all, what? I was not thinking about that at all when I was looking at this pretty fucking lady.
Right.
And I've heard it. I've heard Mexican, and this is not me. We're just talking issues now.
Right.
Also, I'm not shitting you, dude. I have a bit in my stand-up, and I've talked about it on the podcast before. What I'd like to do is make up a fucking word or something for these guys, because now hear me out. Back full circle, what we're talking about, right? Actively racist. And maybe the country just being cool. Maybe like I've got to assume the risk, right? I have to assume the risk that I might get shot and fucked by his 19 cousins or something. But if someone comes up to Peter, this happens to me. And like you said, when no one's watching, I'm sure 90% of people go, yeah, me too, man. Or something like that. The first line I just said, which I think is disgusting. And the second one is like, especially, it's not even the second thing, but especially interracial relationship, it's just crazy. Oh man, she's a lover, or she. I'm like, why are you coming up to me, bro?
Right.
I'm not wearing a yellow star like in World War II. Like, hey, we're Jews together. Come talk to me. But I'm like, who the fuck do you think I'm not allowed to hit them in the fucking face.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's why they're coming at you, because you are
I'm
white. Yeah, because
only that.
They think that all white people think the same.
Yeah, and they also hate you, or are hating on you, or thinking that chick's all right for a black chick.
Right.
Because they think that's all the same. We're fucking ridiculous.
Right.
And I'm not allowed to hit them, but they think you're all disgusting. They think I'm all smart. How do we fucking beat that, Peter? I'm going to mute my mic. This is your mission. How do we fucking start to beat that? Man?
You know how you will start to beat that? You have to actively say, man, that's not okay. It's not even, you have to make it to where it's not even socially acceptable
100%
to be racist.
I think it's getting to that point, man. But I'm not allowed to hit him. And he's ignorant as fuck, and he's not going to listen to me anyway. Mm-hmm. So how, you know what I mean? How the fuck did we really, really do it? Think about it. Put yourself in a position, man. You're in the bar.
Right.
You're in the bar. You're white. You feel good about yourself and your country. Right, you're black. Right. You're black. You hear him say that to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it wasn't me, man. Doesn't matter. I'm now associated with this piece of shit.
Right. Right.
What do these fucking white folk do? And what do you as a black guy do? I'm muting again. I'm muting. This is all you, man.
Because this is what you got to do, man. It's not simple. The answer is simple, but easier said than done. You literally have to say, man, that's unacceptable. And I don't know why you feel comfortable with saying that to me. And you have to make an atmosphere. Your friends have to become an atmosphere. It has to be an atmosphere around you. And if you have friends that even think about racism, they're not going to say it around you, because you've created an atmosphere around you where racist junk don't fly with me. Racism doesn't fly with me. So you try to be actively racist, passively racist around me, that don't fly with me. And then all of a sudden it becomes a social norm to where no racist is safe to leave the house and be racist. So if they're gonna be racist, they're gonna stay their ass in the house and be racist all they want, because they hurt nobody. But when they step out those doors and come into society,
perfect.
They tuck that racist shit in.
So, I mean, so
and that's the solution. Everybody has to be anti-racist. Black people have to be anti-racist. Asians could be anti-racist.
Everybody's just got
everyone could be stop racism. That's it. Just stop it. Say it. It's not acceptable. Nowhere in America is acceptable. Once it gets like that, then guess what? The Ku Klux Klan can't meet secretly, because you know why? Because we gonna know that they meet right. We gonna know that they meet secretly, and then we gonna know that they were there outside of their house meeting. And then
have you ever
they're gonna be
encountered? Have you ever encountered somebody that you might have liked or knew, respected, that's ended up being a secret fucking piece of shit racist?
I had a boss.
That's okay.
No, I had a boss one time. He cursed a lot. And he was very vulgar. And he said something that was racist, like extremely racist. I'm not even gonna say what he said.
Don't worry about that, man. Yeah.
He was just like black and such and such, and it was just
it's already the way you just said it. It's already like it made me laugh. It was that uncomfortable.
You know, I'm just like, and it kind of like I mean, I respected him because he was the boss.
Yeah,
I didn't like how he talked to people but that's just him. He talked to people that way. But when he said that, I was just like that's why the aggression. And then I'm looking at all the workers. All the workers are mainly black people. And I'm just like, he has a subservient like mentality where he just wants to hire black people so he can yell and cuss at them all day and tell them what to do. Like
this is making me uncomfortable, man. Like it's making me just laugh. But
it's deep though. Like it's that deep, and so
it's that stupid.
It is,
and it sounds stupid. It's stupid. Look, how easy it is for me to say stupid, but you don't get. I don't get it, and I know. So, all right, just so many fucking different things. There's just so many questions, and there's just so much shit that's been going on. Now we're talking about how we all got to step up. We all got to do it. Now I've mentioned the fact that somebody that comes at me that's just a fucking dickhead like that, I can say, hey, sir, you're not educated. Hey, sir, you need to listen. Hey, sir, you need to do that. Ultimately, it might end up in an aggressive situation. Who do I call? The fucking cops?
Right.
So how do we fix that in your opinion? How, you don't have to fucking solve the world problem right now. But do you have a solution in your mind? Like, how do we fix this I mean, who do I call? The fucking cops? When I'm fucking trying to be anti-racist to this piece of shit in a bar and I don't want to beat the fuck out of him or hit him with a fucking baseball bat?
Well,
who am I calling?
Well, the thing about it, at this point, you really can't call the police because our society isn't at the point of it's a social norm to that hate speech is
that too. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Once it becomes that way, then you could call the police and the police would be like, hey, no, none of that hate speech around here.
Do you not think it's getting there a little bit?
It's getting there, but we need to put the pedal to the metal. White people need to jump on board, or it's going to just like in the 1960s when the civil rights movement went like this and died down, and then now we revisiting this. We need to go ahead and pass these laws and pass these things that we need to do, and we need to be actively racist in those secret corners where white people are by themselves with other white people.
Yeah, dude, I think, and again, now I'm not. To all my regular racist redneck listeners, I am not being anti-white here, and I don't think Peter is at all.
Not at all.
I think he's targeting a demographic that needs to listen, and that's exactly why the man's on the show. So you want to fucking throw hate anywhere, it better to be to me. But again, it's not anti-white. It's completely. Yeah,
Let me address that. Like,
you got this.
It's definitely not anti-white. It's definitely not. I'm saying that we need white people. White people have the key to us leaving. And I said this before. I made an analogy where we're in a crisis, man. And for me to say, hey, I'm with you, you're a white guy and I'm a black guy, and all of a sudden somebody is shooting, right, in a crowd of people, and I rode with you, so you have the keys to the car, and so people are shooting, and the statistics come out over the radio that he's targeting more people of color more than he's targeting people that are white. Right? So we're in a crisis, and I'm going to be like, okay, we're in a crisis. So how do you feel about this? You know, people are shooting. So come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. But I want you to feel good about it. I don't want to pressure you too much, because I don't want you to feel oppressed that I'm asking you that you have the key to my
man. Amen.
Like, you know, so come on. No, you're in a crisis. You're gonna be like, man, get your ass. Come on, get your stuff. Let's go. You're not caring about feelings. You're not caring about anybody. What if they took all their belongings? If they feel guilty about the person shooting, or they feel guilty about you saying that the person is shooting and you really need them to go. No, we're in a crisis. So I'm saying, hey, white person, they have the key to ending racism. We're in a crisis.
I'm gonna throw you this last 30 seconds. I'm gonna clip this out and just send it to you, and we just Twitter this every fucking day. It'll eventually go viral. Mm-hmm. That is the most perfect way I've heard it explained, man. And I am not trying to bum you up or anything like crazy. Like I'm not here to do that, but that's a great way to put it. And I think people need to think about it that way. 100%. Yeah. Like that's what you're trying to get across is
right.
This isn't just a cigarette or a fire alarm that might fuck us. It's happening. The fire's in. Get the fucking Cadillac. We out of here. Like,
we out of here.
Go
right.
get the keys, man.
Like, yeah, it's not the you don't see the smoke, it's actually fire, and people are actually burning the fire already. So let's get out of here. We're not saying
people are dying.
How do you feel about the people burning in the fire?
Give me the fucking keys, bro.
Does that make it right? You like, give me the damn keys. You don't want to go, okay, your ass stay here, give me the keys, let's go. You're not caring about nobody feeling at that point. You're just trying to leave. You trying to get rescued, you know? And that's what black people are saying. Hey, white people, we need rescue. We will help you in this rescue. You can ask us for help, but you have the key. You have to be anti-racist when white people are around other white people. That's it.
Well, that's it. If you think that's it, I know that you don't think that's it. I'm pretty active in it, and I think I venture to believe, especially for anything other, if nothing more than just stigma and reputation, people will stand up.
Mm-hmm.
People might go home and say, well, my daughter's not dating a black guy.
Right.
But they might come to the bar and be like, how the fuck could you say that to him?
Right.
If I stand up and I'm like.
Because it's socially cool to be anti-racist. That's why white people
can say crazy to think about, man?
Right, it is. But that's what we need.
It's a trend.
Right, it's a trend.
If that's what it takes, it's what it takes. Yeah.
Right. If that's what it takes, and for bell bottoms to come back, hey, bring back bell bottoms that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're saying. It's a trend. So therefore, we need white people to be anti-racist and make it cool to be anti. If you're a white guy, it's cool, and it's sexually desired for all women to like you, to be anti-racist. That's one of the core requirements.
That's it. It should be like. It should be on every Tinder profile.
Right. Like, I'm anti-racist when people are coming.
Minimum 5'10", 6-pack, tolerant.
Right. Right.
Not even anti-racist. I mean, just tolerant. Because we don't want to rule out black guys because only white people can, or only black. Anti-racist is only. I don't remember racism, reverse racism.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
But I would say this though, because the whole thing is, it's not just a pull to white people. White people can be. I want white people to be anti-racist, but every culture can be anti-racist.
Do you get any pushback? Just in your methods. Obviously, your message I agree with, and I think a lot of people agree with. The questions here is about your methods, and a few questions. But do you get any pushback from the African American community about how you maybe kind of come across and do it?
Let me say two things. I'm gonna address that. All right. There was a time when, even in our small town, there was Tony Green, that passed away was killed by a police officer.
Yeah, he didn't pass away, bro. I know you corrected yourself, but I was muted, and I like to cut people off. Tony Green didn't pass away. He was murdered. I'm sorry. I know. Hey, look, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. I just wanted to say it too.
He was murdered. He was murdered. I didn't want to say, oh, how you know he was murdered? I was at
this my show. I saw him. He got murdered. I watched it.
Right, and I was at the trial all 6 days of the trial, even through jury selection. But when that happened, people were there was and the trial went on, and then the officer went to jail for 8 months. He was supposed to do a year, but he did some time before, so he was only there for 7-8 months of his time. And while he was away, Christmas happened. At Christmas happened, and I did a fundraiser. A lot of people that are new to the groups that I'm in, they don't know that I did a fundraiser. And in that fundraiser, I raised Tony has 7 kids. So I did a fundraiser to get presents for Tony's kids. And I also did the police officer. The police officer has 2 sons, 2 little boys. And I did a fundraiser to raise funds for those 2 little boys as well.
That's fantastic, man. That's
what I'm saying. And there was a car accident in our town, and people died. I got presents. I did a fundraiser with a few people, and we raised funds for those people, for the grandmother. We try to get the grandmother a car and all the kind of stuff. Raise funds for the car because she was going to be the sole provider, so she needed to get another job, a part-time job. We did all those things for people in the community. And I'm not gonna lie, the black community, they were mad at me. They were like, "Well, Tony Green is not here anymore. Tony Green is, so why are you doing a fundraiser for the officers' kids?" And I had to explain to them. I said, "No, you're not gonna come for me.
It's no kid's fault.
Right? It's not the kid's fault.
It's no kid's fault.
It's no kid's fault." And I told them, I said, unless the kids conspired to kill Tony Green with their daddy, then it's not their fault. And and I know, they were shunned and they had to leave and they had to move away. And I understood that because how people react and through the hate, they hate what happened and the anger. Right. So, but I end up telling, the black community, and I said, listen, you're not going to come at the black guy that speaks up and says what we all want to say, but y'all not saying, because maybe fear of losing jobs, maybe fear of losing all that. I told them, and I was like, I love y'all, but listen, you don't come at the only person that's just trying to bridge the gap in the community, whatever it is. You might not like my method, but I don't see you doing it.
Right.
And I tell white people too. I say, hey, you might not like my method, but I don't see you in the community doing it. Where were you when the police was trying to bridge the gap between the community and the police office? I was there. There was only 4 people there, and they were all 4 black people. It was me, my father, Timothy Bessett, and Pastor Knight, 3 pastors, and Peter Anderson.
So 4 of these black guys and a bunch of white cops.
Right. And there was
one that just killed a black guy.
Right. There was 2 black cops though that was there out of all the rest. But for the most part, yes. 80.
What I'm saying is that's it. It's we asked you earlier your favorite food, macaroni. Like how old you're just a regular guy, man. And I think people need to look past methods sometimes. I don't think you do much wrong. I'm educated enough to and I've got a sense of humor enough to see a lot of things you come from.
Right.
Again, I don't think it's a shame. I can't say a fucking word about the black community, passing judgment on you. I just thought it would be almost like that, the white guy that nudges you and says some stuff like that, just to see if anything like that.
But I would say this though. Let me say the black community does. I've had a talk with them. after all that happened, because they were mad, they were upset, and I get it. They were upset. The tensions were flaring. After it all cooled down, they came to me and said, "Peter, we appreciate what you do. We appreciate you speaking and saying things that we don't want to say, or we might not have the courage to say, and you say it."
So they
do appreciate it.
Let's full circle, because we're going to wrap up in a few, and I try to keep it short enough to keep it interesting, long enough to cover the subject. I'd love to have you back on. Don't get me wrong, man.
Right.
Dude, I could do this for hours.
I heard you had somebody calling me.
That'd be great.
I heard somebody wanted to call and talk to me.
Oh yeah, man. Call him out if you want, man.
No,
James Talley, my boy's ready for you.
Yeah, he was trying. He
ready. No, I'm saying, Peter, you ready for him?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I mean,
we're not wrapping it up just yet. I just want to kind of get some shit in. So where the fuck were we at about just oppression, social media, full circle? That's what we started with. I said we got to get to that later because it is the chunk of the show. It is how I know you. Well, I know you from when you're a little fucking tiny weirdo, kid. And so was I. I was peaking. I was at my peaking line as a senior in high school. You're a little chubby sophomore, so it worked out.
Wait, hold on. See, the only weird time in my life was during the first part of puberty in middle school, like 7th grade.
Dude, no, he's a liar. Because I knew him when he was 15. That was definitely his first part of puberty.
No, for 8th grade, from 8th grade to senior, there was nothing wrong with me then.
There's a lot wrong with Peter then. I knew him. There's still a lot wrong with him. And that's why he's on my show. So let's talk social media, man. You do a lot of your activism on it. I'm not saying now again, you can catch Peter a lot of places. He's got and we talk about you plug the shit out of your show and stuff, man. You're on social media, you get a lot of hate, I'm sure. Does it get personal? Do you think about it too much? Do you lose sleep on any of the hate? And then 2-part question, like, what would you address to these motherfuckers that are hitting, especially the ones that are like, fuck your message,
Right. And I don't they're not ready to receive it. But I would do this. I would say this. Do I lose sleep? No, I don't. I sleep like a baby. On the outside of this, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. Like, if you see me at work at my regular 9-to-5 job, like
you almost said good looking, and thank God you corrected that.
But nah, seriously. But if you see me at my job, they be like, "Oh, Peter is a joy to have around. He's always laughing. He's always having a good time. He's serious when it's time to be serious." But like when they see my my videos, they be like, "Oh, I didn't know Peter Anderson was this direct when it comes to this topic." But my job is cool. We talk about this stuff all the time in my job, and it's really open like that for us to talk about. And Peter,
I'm going to cut you. I have a fake name, and I think when we got in a little argument about a year ago, you kind of called me out on it. But I'm trying to protect my family. I'm offensive comedy. And so I swear to God, just seconds ago, I was like, well, why do you use your real name? I was thinking about asking you that. I'm like, wait, this motherfucker's got a message that he wants to put his name on. Mm-hmm. Do you get any flack at work for that?
Well, at work, no, they're cool because they're all about diversity. They're all about inclusion. They're all about that. So I don't have no problem with them saying, "Oh, clipping something and sending it to my job."
Great.
That my work.
Guy said,
right. My work speaks for myself at my job. I'm an excellent employee.
What are they taking them? What are they sending? This guy said that George Floyd was murdered.
Right. Exactly. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about people, seeing me out in the street. Half of them are trolls anyway. They're not going to approach nobody in the street anyway. Even if they do, this is an open carry state. So I am well protected all the time. So, I'm not worried about none of that. I
get questions. I get questions based on your statements.
Go ahead.
Are you an open carry guy? Were you an open carry guy? Or are you an open carry guy because of like recent history? Or were you just always grew up that way?
Well, my parents had my parents always had guns in the house growing up, but
why the fuck not?
Right. But as far as me caring, I'm really protective about it. Like I'm not like careless with it.
It's
But
responsible.
but yes, of course, recent history. When I was 15, I was shooting weapons and stuff like that. So that's nothing. That's nothing. But as far as at me getting older, I wasn't like, oh, let me carry a gun or have a gun in the house. But as recent history, yes. So I answer your question, yes.
Bro,
recent
I
history
gotta cut
says,
you
you know
off.
what? I need to make sure.
I gotta stop you there, man, because I feel fucking terrible that I just asked you that question. I'm not fucking shitting you. Man. Like, I'm sitting listening to you answer that. I'm like, why the fuck did I ask this man that? And now that's not obviously you won't call it white guilt, right? Whatever the fuck anyone out here wants to fucking call it. I mean, I think that's fucking problem. That is the problem. Definitely one of the fucking problems right there. I'm sitting listening in my head, follow-up questions like, well, do you have it? Do you keep it on you when the cops pull you over? Like, what the fuck am I asking you that for? You're an American. You have the right to carry a fucking gun.
Absolutely.
Do it. I'm asking you why you carry it like it's any of my goddamn business. No, sir. It's none. It's none. And I'm trying to make this entertainment, like exploiting the fact that you're black by asking you this. Obviously, it was...
Right.
Didn't mean it. But you know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, Peter.
But I mean, but it's the culture and that's why my show, I do have a show, and I'm gonna plug the show here.
The shit out of
this is where I plug the show. And you can you can follow me on Instagram at Peter Anderson Show. Real simple. You can hashtag Peter Anderson Show on YouTube, and you'll pull up my content. And on my show, I really talk about it. I talk about actually doing what I need, addressing these issues. So go check out my show. I address all these issues. I really trying to address the issues with, hey, white people are literally losing their jobs for just looking racist. Yeah. You're not saying that you're racist.
That's a fact, man.
You could slip up, like you say, you slip up and say something that's culturally not appropriate to say at that time being filmed.
I've been in places. Listen, you can lose your job. Disclosure. I'm live to 6 billion people right now, and potentially everyone's got the internet. I've said the N-word in my life. I don't know. I've never said the N-word aggressively. I've definitely said the A at the end, and I've quoted rap songs, and I've also thought it was funny amongst my white and black friends to say Edda. But I'm done with it. And I have a close to 4-year-old, and like that word's never said around her ever. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not silly enough to not let you know that, one, I've said it, and two, I know it's not appropriate anymore. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we can call these beaches out. You've got the show. We discuss it. We know what's right. White people are fucking dumb, dude.
And I want to address that though, because I talk to people online, and I do want to address that.
I don't think I should hang for it, and that's
I start realizing that when I'm having these conversations with people, they get upset because first of all, I got to realize that their comprehension levels are different than everybody. Everybody has a different.
So bad, dude.
So you're just trying to simplify it, and then they were like, "Oh, you're trying to make it be condescending to me." No, because ma'am, you're not understanding, sir. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm using simple things to make you understand a complex thing. So you're not understanding these simple things, and I'm trying to simplify it for you because the way you responded to me makes it think that you ain't comprehend shit. You just keep going.
Not shit. Like that's all it is. I think that look, if people want to rewind and watch this again, it might be happening. I might have done it 17 times to you, but that's this part of my comedy. I hopefully get to be on your show soon. We can maybe do tomorrow, but it'll be your show, so I'll fucking calm down. But man, I had it going. It's crazy to me that, like you said, it's communication. All they're doing is listening to your point to speak instead of listening to your point and absorbing it. Right. And it happens no more else than it does on like social media and Facebook.
Right. So that's why I tell them. And let me say right there, because that's what I tell them, bro. I tell them straight up. I say, listen, I can spend my day off trying to talk to people for 3.5 hours, and all it takes for me, if you called me, 2 minutes. So
2 minutes.
So guess what? And you probably will understand it better. But
It's
a lot of these people, they write paragraphs and whole
they spend 14 minutes on that motherfucker.
Right. And I'm just like, minimum. You think I'm gonna sit there and answer everybody's paragraph like I get paid for this? I'm like, no, I'm doing it as a courtesy to you. So guess what? As a courtesy, if you are really concerned about and really want to know these answers, you call into my show. I got
your show.
I got a toll-free number.
Dude, also get to that, right, motherfucker.
I got a toll-free number. And you could go on Zoom if you want to be seen, your face be seen. You know,
nobody ever joins, man.
Right? Nobody
joins all the time
because they are afraid. Like, just be honest. If you're afraid, I'll leave you alone. Just say that you're afraid, man. I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I don't speak well in front of people, or I'm afraid because you know something. But tell me that you're afraid. Be honest, and that's what we're lacking, and that's why I get mad sometimes on social media.
Do you think that's what we're lacking in general? Do you think that's a big problem?
Honesty.
It's not even honesty, Peter. I think it's like that fear too. Like, do you think that's the problem too with like with the racism and the bullshit we're talking about? It's like, well, I can go home and I can be super activist,
right? But
I ain't doing it at the bar,
right?
Because I might get beat up.
But it's fear, and that's honest.
Fear.
I'm never going to shame you because you're afraid, but I'm going to shame you when you can't admit that you're afraid. You're not being honest.
There it is.
I'm going to shame you for your dishonesty. Like, you're not being honest. Be honest.
That's the message.
If you're scared, you're scared. Okay, all right. So if you're scared, hey, why? Maybe we can talk through that so you don't be scared anymore. Because fear, I'm not afraid of anything. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want you to be afraid of anything, but that's a real emotion. Fear is a real emotion. But what I do get people at is being dishonest with themselves, as if it's going to do something for.
That's the worst person to be dishonest with.
Right. Right. Like, I'm going to call you out. Like, I already call out saying outrageous things. Why wouldn't I call you out on being dishonest? You know, so
awesome. That's a great way to put it, man. I got a question earlier today. And I dealt with privilege. I've said privilege before. And these motherfuckers, like family members, come back with it. I'm not rich. I'm like, first of all,
right. That has nothing to do with it.
Say rich, motherfucker.
Right.
I said that you don't have to put your wallet on the dashboard. That's what I mean.
Right.
Right. So just to be clear, I understand white privilege. Go ahead, and I've got a follow-up question to the privilege word, but could you just explain it for these motherfuckers that like come at me and come at you like, I wasn't born with a silver spoon, I'm not privileged. Can you just like sum that up in like 30 seconds to a minute?
Right.
Like what white privilege means to these stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not saying that. I'm saying that.
White privilege is this, man. It's real simple. It's a simple concept. It's not a check that you get in the mail. It's not something that you know that is added on to you. It could be, it could be open doors that might close for other people. It could.
I don't mean it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to make sure that they know that. I don't mean it.
If you just like you said, it's like not having to put your wallet on the dashboard, not having to show your hands all the time during police interactions,
not having to answer questions about guns from a fucking comedian.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, there are thoughts, not having to talk to your kids about how you address police officers, and you need to be very careful about how you move.
Or put your wallet on the dashboard.
That shit is stressful to talk to your children about certain things that you don't want to have to talk to them about.
There's your fucking privilege.
Right, that's the privilege.
There's your privilege, motherfuckers. That's all we're talking about.
That's all we're talking about. That's a piece of your brain that could be free from worry. That's privilege. Like, bro, you don't have to worry about your kids coming home.
Hold on. Stop. I'm stopping you, dude.
Like,
I am fucking stopping you aggressively. Because, and whether it makes my white brothers proud or my other friends or whatever, I don't care. But I'm being completely open and honest. I act drunk. I've only had 2 beers. That is the first time I've thought about it that deep, man. And I like to think deep and make people think and make people question. You're telling me, and that's so fucking true. It was a part of my brain, which obviously turns into a part of my body, and energy and time for my children, for my career, for my love, for my dreams. But I'm wasting by worrying about a goddamn anytime being murdered.
Right.
Like, I'm laughing because it's not funny, dude. Right. I'm laughing because it's not funny.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
That's privilege, isn't it?
Right.
That's what I mean. That's what you mean.
Have your mind free on certain topics. You don't have to speak to white people. Can say, hey, we don't see color. You can teach your kids, we don't see color. We're all the same. Black people can't tell their children that. Black people have to tell their children, you are black and this is how it goes. Because when you step out the house, it don't matter how much you think people don't see color, they see you as black, and it can very affect the way you move in society. So, and
your hope and my hope is we get rid of that, obviously.
Right.
It's not utopia at that point, but it's a fucking start.
Right.
And your start to fight it is just, hey, white folk, be loud. Be loud about it.
Exactly.
Do not let these pieces of shit.
Right.
I've had an episode, I've got a bit about it, like when I want to make up a word for these. See what I mean? Like I almost said the F word. I could say the R word. It doesn't work. I can't say any of these words that offend other people because they're not in the same level. These guys are. And if I could make up a word like The Rock and like get it in the dictionary, like jabroni, but it's not there. You know what I mean? They need a word. I'm not allowed to say the N word. I'm not allowed to say the R word. I'm allowed to say cunt, but I'm almost not.
Right.
But I want if I say cunt to a white chick, they're like, I think if I say the N word and R word to most white chicks, they're not going to do that. But I need a word that's just as strong as the C word. But it describes these pieces of fucking shit that some of us are scared to fight. Some of us are scared to stand up to. And they're the fucking problem.
There's not a word. And that's why
think about it. That's what I'm saying. We need one. I'm not allowed to say fat.
See,
right?
It's crazy because
that's bullshit.
That's what they do online. That's what they do online to me. They say, oh, say it nicer. How do you say you're a racist piece of shit? Nicer?
That's it.
And that's what it is.
The only way to say it.
It's the only way to say it. Like
Peter, it's the only way to say it.
Only way to say it. Like I'm done trying to coddle feelings. Like we're in a crisis. Okay, hey, there's a racist piece of shit. There's a racist piece of shit. That's all you're going to say. You're not going to be like, hey guys, look over there. You will see our neighborhood racist. You know, he has a gun right now.
This man's a little intolerant.
He's trying to shoot me. But that over here is another neighborhood.
He's aiming his gun at me. He's pointing his gun at me.
Right. You're going to be like, oh, that's a racist piece of shit. Let's duck.
This man's a little intolerant and he's pointing his gun at the back of my head.
Right. Right. So, and that's
not funny. It's not funny. It's fucking.
I've been doing this since 2018, and I tell people, I say, hey man, I do this. You telling me to do it a different way? First of all, tell me how I can do it. First response is, hey, we need to get together and do something. I said, no, I'm not getting together with white people to sing Kumbaya. That don't do nothing but make white people feel good.
Put a pin in that, because to be fair, I think I messaged you like months ago with the kind of the same approach, but all I wanted was this. To be fair, but I can completely understand you just dismissing all that bullshit. I completely understand it, man. I completely understand it. So go ahead, man. It's just how do you deal with just
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, they try to
stop with the kumbaya shit. It's different than that.
It's different. It's more than that. It's like you saying, hey, well, I'm just going to be nice to everybody. I'm just like, no, it's more than that. It's so you're going to be nice to the racist pieces of shits out there? Because you're nice to everyone.
Welcome to my show where we call racist pieces of shit racist pieces of shit.
Right.
No fucking NC-17 TV MA up in this motherfucker. Racist pieces of shit are racist pieces of shit.
like
and cunts.
It's like the person is racist. So how do you want me to say it nicely? Like everybody that's racist isn't racist because they said they ain't after they do something racist. Like the guy
or before. That's the best. I'm not racist,
but I'm about to say something racist.
But my daughter's not dating a black guy.
Right. Like it's crazy because that's the thing about
racist,
it. Like the story. Did you see the story with the guy, in New Jersey that got arrested?
I watched the whole video. I wanted to get his address, but then the cops fucking took care of it.
Right, but did you see where he actually came and he was on afterwards? He was on the show.
Oh, I didn't see the after events.
He said he was on the news and he said, "Oh, I'm not racist. I use the N-word with I call myself the N-word and I call my friends the N-word." And I said, and he said, I use it all the time, but
I'm not racist. I got a color TV.
Right. But you know what? In the video, he says he uses the word monkey multiple
times. Racist, and then the cop shows. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
But he calls his friends monkey. Like that's a thing. Like how deep is the lie gonna go?
I call my friends ugly.
Hey, that guy.
If I got arrested for calling a chick ugly, I'd be like, "Hey, man, I call my friends ugly all the time." Now, that's not cool, but I'm not yelling monkey, N-word, monkey, fuck off, cop, you fucking N-lover, all that bullshit either. This is a piece of shit that needs to go down.
Right, but
and he's using monkey as an excuse. Sorry.
At the core of what I'm trying to do is I love everybody. I don't have to sit here and talk to white people about what white people need to change so they can keep their jobs. I don't need to do that. Like literally, my show. If you watch my show, that's the.
I can't wait to fucking get on it.
Bro, it's the premise of my show. Like I'm literally talking about ways that white people cannot look racist so they can keep their jobs, so they can keep their family secure. Like, come on, like literally, like I'm trying to say, hey man, this is how you not look racist. You might think you're not being racist, but yes, you actually are being racist when you do this, or at least looking like it.
I'm gonna come at you as a white guy. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't see color, but Josh House has commented. He says, "My problem with discussions online, and I think it's part of your polarizing personality." And I think it's been covered, Josh, to be fair, is it's aggressive, it's headline grabbing, it's what the fuck's up, ask me questions and see what the fuck happens after that.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. How do you respond to things like that?
What I respond to, see, this is the thing. This is between people that have a perception of how things should go and to somebody that actually took the time for years to perfect the way to get attention so we can talk about it. So it's like when they was like, why do you put up pictures of little white boys and little white girls holding hands and black boys and white girls holding hands and jogging down the street in humanity? That will stop racism. And in my experience, that doesn't do anything but make white people feel good. It don't even make black people feel good.
That's a really good way to put it, man. Keep going, but that's a really good start, right? And that's it.
So my standpoint is I do post those things, but nobody clicks on them. Nobody responds to them the way they respond to me saying something. But guess what? My whole idea when I came on in 2018, I said, hey, I am going to straight up. I'm going to start the conversation. I'm going to force the conversation whether white people are ready for the conversation or not. I remember being young, man, where we were trying to talk about slavery. We will try to talk about racism, and all the response from your white counterparts are, oh, let's not talk about that. That was 200 years ago. They've been saying 200 years ago, like 40, 50 years ago. It ain't even been 200 years yet.
Since 100 years ago.
Slavery, right. Slavery hasn't been 200 years yet to this day. It's only 100.
You want to touch on education?
It's 150 something years, 57, 58 years.
Do you want to touch on education or lack thereof there, where I think the white people took over America, and then there was a Trail of Tears, and so the Indians are all happy on a reservation, and then the slaves came over here and worked for a few years, and then they're all happy, and they're basketball players.
Right, they're basketball players, and they make millions of dollars. All of us are. Even me.
Are you not?
Right, like
You're not a basketball player.
I dunked on Kobe.
You lying piece of shit. You're a basketball player.
Kobe's cousin yesterday. Kobe's cousin. I dunked on him yesterday. Like just yesterday. He's having a scrimmage. Like he's coming up. Definitely watch out for him. I don't know his name because he's non-existent. That's why I don't know his name. But I dunked on him yesterday.
But you understand what I'm saying, right? Like,
rest in
do you
peace,
want to
Kobe.
touch on that kind of? Yeah, fucking dude, Kobe is my guy,
Kobe.
man.
Yeah,
like, we're the same age, essentially. Jordan was great and a little before us, but he's great. LeBron was great and a little after us. Well, Kobe was our prime time.
Well, Jordan, I say for me, because my family's just a basketball family. Jordan was day one. Like,
Jordan.
His work in the 90s was I followed it as a little kid because I had an older brother. So
Michael Jackson Thriller equals same category. Michael Jordan, Space Jam.
Yeah, Allen Iverson. Yes. Oh, somebody posted Allen Iverson. Yeah.
Allen Iverson's all right. He's all right.
Nah, he will cross
We're
you
live.
up.
We don't fuck with practice. We're live. So just kind of back to that. I had a question about just kind of we're talking about your methods and how to agree with it. And then let's go back to this guy. He was talking about how it just discussions online and the approach to it. Obviously, that's what we're here for, Mal.
Definitely ask the question. Yeah, did he ask a question?
Well, he was just talking. I think that was kind of his question. The question was I interpreted about your methods. Let
me expound on that some more.
Yeah, man, please.
I wasn't very clear. My method is this, man. It's been years of trial and error. I have so many tested methods.
I have 7 live viewers right now, bro. Trial and error. I've got the 7.
Right. So and that's what I'm saying. It's trial and error. Like people, they have a perception of things how it should be. I've read different things. I've researched different things. Like they don't know that when they're sleeping at home, I'm researching things about how to get people to engage on your post, how to get people to start conversations, how to all this is research and data. Like I do all this while people are sleeping. I'm working, so excuse my French. I'm a hard ass worker.
Dude, don't you fucking excuse any French on this podcast. We're equal opportunity.
But that's what I'm saying.
Fuck the French.
Like really, that's what I'm saying. So I've trialed and error. So this whole can you please white people save us, help us, please? And you just want me to beg and be nice. And I'm like, we're in a crisis. Like let's get up, get your ass up, white people.
Fires in and help. We're here together. Get the fucking kids.
Yeah. Like
understood that point. Please skip back to like 41 minutes to hear a fucking amazing point, amazing announcement. Peter, I don't know if you see that comment on the screen, but I think it's a really great question.
What is it?
It says, I honestly think that people are scared to talk about it and engage you, essentially, because disagreeing with your method makes them sound or appear racist.
Okay, I see.
So, I think I can almost see that. You know what I mean? Like, so let me throw this out. I think one of your shows was like, why white people are racist. Now, It's the name of a fucking episode of a show.
Right.
I'll check it out. But you got some shit for that, I think.
Right.
And I kind of almost... So what if I come on, I'm like, that's fucking racist or that's prejudice. I'm not racist. Obviously, it's a bold, vague statement. But do you agree with this guy's question or statement? People are scared to do it because they think disagreeing with your methods would sound racist.
Right. But this is the thing about it. I'm a type of person where people see, like I said, in 2019, a year after I started doing therapy sessions where white people would come on. A lot of white people would come on my lives. They're actually allies now that I have allies in the group now. They used to come on my lives and I used to just challenge the way they think. And I said, this is a safe space. There's nobody trying to make anybody look racist. There's nobody that's trying to say, hey, we need to post this person and cancel this person or do anything like that. If we disagree, we just want to open the dialogue and have an honest conversation. And all I really want to do is challenge the way people think. That's what I do. It's like I sit on my couch,
for hours. I'll waste my Saturday.
I challenge the way people think. I'm inside people's homes, challenging the way they think.
Do you feel that anyone's getting anything out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I
do the same thing. I'm just different. I try my best, and I convince myself that someone's getting something out of it.
I had a recent post, man, from somebody that's an ally. His name is I think his name is Jason or James. I forgot. Sorry, I'm just so flustered.
Some white ass name, dude.
He's an ally.
Look at you now laughing. What a good man. What a good man.
He's an ally. He's an ally, and he's really a good guy. He told me straight up. He said, Peter, I have to tell you something, and I meant to tell. He almost said it in a way like, I meant to tell you. I have to say thank you because I used some of your terminology to talk to my somewhat racist family when I went to visit them, and he said the conversations that followed after that gave him hope.
That makes a fucking difference, doesn't it?
Right.
Like, even if he just changed his crazy drunk uncle's mind for next time, just one next time.
It's to challenge your way of thinking, like to hear another point of view and challenge the way your thought process is.
You talked about 3 categories earlier. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, finish your time. Hashtag.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go
ahead. Where's a little acceptable, at least in part of the growth and the evolution of it? All right, this guy just hates minorities. What's the first step? Is there a first step of now he I don't know, went to a minority-owned business. What you know what I mean? What's the hope what's the hope for the biggest piece of shit? How do we beat them? Just put them in. Hold on.
Well,
in Britain and Europe,
I would tell you,
they get on social media and they fucking call you names and fucking racially abuse you. They get arrested.
Right.
You think that's a start? You think we should do that in America, or is that fuck with our freedom of speech?
But see, the problem is, there's consequence, and I'm a quote, Dr. Martin Luther King.
Fucking go for it.
Dr. Martin Luther King said, hey, we might not be able to change the hearts of man, but we can change laws to suppress their actions.
Yeah, man.
You see what I'm saying? So that's Dr. Martin Luther King. He said that in one of his alumni speeches. In I think that was in 1957 or something like that. I'm well read. I'm well read. So when people try to come and say it might sound like sometimes I talk condescending or text. I don't know how.
Because you're a pompous, condescending piece of shit.
Right. I guess so.
But at least you're not a racist piece of shit.
Right. Because I'm anti-racist. How can I be racist in your definition of racism?
I think you're you're right on the fucking cloud, right on the same line as me. It's just and I think so we're gonna wrap it up because I don't. If it goes too long, people tune out and people don't listen any longer. So I'm gonna this has been a pleasure, a fucking pleasure.
Same here.
Really, man. I'd hope to get you on again.
Right. Anytime.
I try to be funny, but I mean, this is just shit's not funny, and I can sit and roast again racist pieces of shit all day. I'm going to mute my mic, and you got as much time as you absolutely fucking want. And then I'll hit the video, and then we'll fade out, and I'll talk to you afterwards. But I want to know what your message is. I want to know maybe, in a nutshell, why you choose to spread your message the way you do.
Right.
And not afraid to hurt feelings. And then where to find you and where to talk to you and where to engage in you and where to see your show and things like that. So Peter, once again, everybody, MickMotherwell.com, Facebook.com/Mick Motherwell Comedy. I don't care about me, but definitely check out Instagram at Peter Anderson Show. YouTube Peter Anderson Show. This motherfucker is an activist. This guy's a freedom fighter. I think, and we need to talk about that maybe next time, about how we're just a product of our, maybe on your show, we talk about how we're just, we've got one hand tied behind our back in this region of the country, and definitely this region of the state and the county and the neighborhood and all that. And I think that sucks sometimes too. And we got to figure out how to fucking beat it. Anyway, Peter, please take it away. Tell me all about Peter Anderson, his show, his mission, his methods, and his madness. And take it away for as long as you want, bro. And you sign off. Just let them know to check out MickMotherwell.com when you're done.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I love you. I
love you too, bro. It's all love, man. Much love, bro.
It's a pleasure for me, man.
Yeah,
a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Please don't. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys. You know, my message is for white people. I mean, to just encourage y'all guys, get in the fight. We need y'all. We need you to get into this fight with us. You know, that's my ploy. I'm trying to provoke a conversation when I speak. When I say something that might be jaw-wrenching, like, oh my gosh, how did he say that? I'm saying it to provoke you to engage. Think change doesn't happen until somebody gets angry about something. And then they say, man, I'm going to show him. And then they engage. And that's all I want you to do is engage, so we can challenge each other's thoughts and the way we think. And so I really just want to make sure that you guys know that I don't hate white people. I don't. I feel like we need white people. We need white people. Okay? White power! Right. In the good way, not in that way. But, in the good way. Only in the good way. Kidding. Not the white sheets over people's head kind of way.
I'm so sorry.
But in the good kind of way, we need you. You do have the power to affect change in a way that black people just can't. We can chip away at it. But if y'all come aboard on us, we can end racism. And let me tell y'all this: if y'all guys come on board and racism ends and it's over, guess what happens? Peter Anderson shuts up. He stops talking because y'all getting it. Y'all getting on board and becoming anti-racist. Like I need you to be. I need you to be against racism.
Well, I'm sitting here when you said that. Hey, real quick, I'm sitting here when you said that. I'm thinking, when I think to myself, what I want for the world. And you go, Peter Anderson shuts it up. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to interrupt that. Go ahead. I'm done. I'm leaving.
But I appreciate you guys for watching. Definitely check me out at Peter Anderson Show on Instagram. And also you can hashtag Peter Anderson Show on YouTube. And on Facebook, I'm Peter Anderson Music because I also do music too. And Facebook won't let me change it to Peter Anderson Show. So that's why that's still Peter Anderson Music. But I still do music as well. And you can check out my show. My show premise is to getting white people to understand, hey, you guys are losing jobs just by looking racist. If you listen and just listen to what I have to say to you, I can show you ways on not to look racist. Just look it. We're not even getting to the point where we're saying you might be racist or not. You just looking it, and white people are getting canceled, losing careers and jobs. You can call in, we can talk. You can tell me about a situation that happened. Where was you wrong in that, or where were you right in that? We can talk about it on the show. And that's what I'm just really trying to do. That's my mission, is to help white people in their everyday lives, and also help. And in turn, when I help white people in their everyday lives, you also can help this social construct called racism, and you can help destroy it. And that's my method. My methods are, like my dad always says, there's a method to my madness. So when you think I'm just going mad and I'm just angry at white people. No, I'm not angry at white people. I'm just trying to provoke white people so they can get angry enough for positive change. And that's all I'm trying to do. But yes, definitely check out MickMotherwell.com, rewatch the video, share, like, and subscribe. Y'all guys take care. Peace out. I'm out. We sign you off. I'm on tomorrow night. Details coming later on my page. But take care. Go ahead, like and share and follow all social media platforms.
Wanna catch backside, I knew you were the one. Never been a planner, cause behind is so much fun. Bounce with me, baby. Bounce with me, baby. Bounce with me, baby. Bounce with me, baby. Bounce with me, baby.